AKG Art Museum. We are gathered today to celebrate the opening of Marisol, a retrospective, and the unveiling of Wayfinding by Chloë Bass. Marisol, a retrospective, represents the culmination of the years-long process of cataloging the vast contents of Marisol's estate, which the artist bequeathed to the Buffalo AKG upon her death in 2016. The result is an exhibition that offers an unprecedented view of an artist who paved her own path and followed her own vision despite the vicissitudes of the art world. In addition to presenting many of Marisol's satirical and political sculptures and self-portraits from the 1960s, the exhibition also assembles, for the first time, lesser known but equally compelling areas of her practice and places them in their historical and artistic contexts. But everything, from the exhibition to the beautiful catalog to the bequest itself, began in the early 1960s when this museum established a relationship with the artist that would come to have a profound impact on this institution and its place in the broader art world. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce the curator of Marisol, a retrospective, and the scholar and art historian who's led the processing of this historic bequest, the Charles Balbach Chief Curator of the Buffalo AKG, Dr. Kathleen Chaffee.
Good morning. Thank you all so much for being here. I could not be more excited to join the entire team of the AKG in unveiling this exhibition. Marisol was born in 1930 to Venezuelan parents. She was born in Paris, and she was one of the lucky or perhaps unlucky few who always knew she wanted to be an artist. She was drawing from a very young age and embarked on a plan to study art in New York City in 1950. She arrived at a moment of enormous cultural foment. We think about the abstract expressionist movement coming up. These were her friends. These are the people she spent time with in the 50s as she began taking classes and experimenting with sculpture. She was also someone who struggled with figuring out throughout this exhibition. She was someone who, as Jillian said, always forged her own way and didn't mind if she didn't fit in with the narratives that the media wanted to create about artists, about women artists in society, and about her as an immigrant and as a Latin American artist. By the 1960s, she began to make works that completely captivated New York City. There were lines in 1962 and 1964 of 2,000 people, 4,000 people around the block waiting to get in to see her exhibitions of the 60s. And some of the people, perhaps not in line, came from this museum. We were the very first museum to buy a work by Marisol in 1962. And it's a work that many people in Buffalo grew up seeing. It's a work called The Generals, and it's on view in this exhibition. Buying that work and putting it immediately on view in a show that was one of the very earliest exhibitions looking at pop art anywhere in the world, here at the museum in 1963, began a relationship that led Marisol later in life, decades before she died, to make the decision that she wanted to leave her estate to our museum. There are very few museums that are representatives of artists' estates. It is an enormous responsibility and a gift. And as Jillian mentioned, this is something that has transformed and will continue to transform our museum. We are the representatives of her scholarship, of the future research of her work, and also the caretakers of more than 600 works on paper that she left us, more than 100 sculptures, her library, her archive, her research materials, her sketches. We are honored to have this role in the history of art and in the place where we get to be the advocates and the champions of this truly unique, difficult, challenging, brilliant, visionary woman artist. This exhibition is the fruit of 6 years of research on the part of our team, bringing these works together with loans from museums and private collections all over the country. And what it is truly is two things that I just want to emphasize before handing over the microphone. This exhibition is a celebration of the power of what museums can do. We come together and do research not motivated by sales or by the market, but by changing the history of art and finding the right place for artists who deserve the kind of attention that a project like this can bring. Marisol was one of the most visionary artists of the 20th century, and she is far from a household name. It is our strong belief that this exhibition and the work that this museum will do for generations to come in stewarding her legacy will change that entirely. Secondly, this exhibition is about Buffalo. This is a homecoming for these works that are now part of the history and the legacy of Buffalonians and Western New Yorkers for centuries to come. This is now our legacy in Buffalo. From this moment on, after this exhibition comes down, there will always be a gallery, it is our plan, dedicated to the work of Marisol. We might have 5 works on view. This exhibition has almost 300. But those growing up in Buffalo will have the chance to get to know Marisol and get to know the history of our museum in discovering, perhaps discovering is the wrong word, in celebrating emerging talent and in supporting artists at different phases of their careers. We are so honored to open the exhibition today and to share it with the people of our region, and we look forward to welcoming you here.
Can you believe that there's more? I mean, this is a really big day here. Thank you, Kathleen, and congratulations. I think we'd all love to say congratulations to you on this momentous exhibition. As you know, today also marks the unveiling of Wayfinding by Chloë Bass, a striking public artwork newly installed throughout our campus and Delaware Park. I'm pleased to introduce our public art project coordinator, Zach Baylor, one of the tireless individuals who every year brings new public art projects to life. Though our curator of public art, Aaron Ott, could not be here today, Zach has played a key role in the installation of Wayfinding and in almost all of the projects that the Public Art Initiative has completed to date, seemingly always on the very hottest days that Western New York ever sees. Please join me in welcoming Zach Baylor.
Good morning. First, thank you, Jill. Congratulations, Kathleen, on this amazing exhibition. It is an honor to be here today with everyone to celebrate both the opening of Marisol, a retrospective, but also to celebrate the unveiling of Chloë Bass's Wayfinding. The Buffalo AKG's Public Art Initiative was founded in 2013 as a partnership between the museum and Erie County, soon after joined by the city of Buffalo. Since then, our team is proud to have facilitated the creation and installation of more than 60 public artworks throughout Western New York. Fundamentally, we are committed to foregrounding through our work our region's many communities and the extraordinary artists whose vision has had a profound impact on our shared landscape. The newest addition to that list is Chloë Bass. Chloë is a New York City-based artist who works in performance, publications, installation, and social spaces. Her project Wayfinding, which is now installed throughout the Buffalo AKG campus and Delaware Park, first began at the Studio Museum in Harlem before traveling to the Pulitzer Arts Foundation in St. Louis and the Skirball Cultural Center in Los Angeles. Wayfinding is mesmerizing as it elegantly integrates into one of Frederick Law Olmstead's masterpieces of landscape architecture. Her meditative, open-ended phrases asks viewers to contemplate daily life with themes of place, time, relationships, and meaning. The work rewards repeated and thoughtful encounters, as hundreds of Buffalonians have already experienced. It was a true honor to work with Chloë, and the public art team is delighted that the Buffalo AKG has acquired Wayfinding into its collection, the first major museum to do so with her work. Since its founding, the museum has focused on creating productive, nurturing relationships with working artists, relationships that have borne extraordinary fruit. In 1962, the Buffalo AKG was the first museum to acquire a work by Marisol. a decision that would eventually culminate in the artist's bequest of her estate to the museum in 2016. In 1990, we hosted Jenny Holzer in the United States Pavilion at the 44th Venice Biennale. A year later, we became the first museum to commission a work by Holzer, which is still on view in the Wilmers Building. As a result of the installation and acquisition of Wayfinding, Chloë and her work are now part of a history of conceptual and artistic expression that the Buffalo AKG has fostered for more than 162 years. The Buffalo AKG's installation of Wayfinding is made possible by a unique and special partnership with the Olmstead Parks Conservatory and with support and help from the Buffalo Arts Commission. We thank you for that collaboration and support. While our department in public art is small, it takes many to execute these works. Thank you to the many teams across the Buffalo AKG that contributed to this project. Thank you to my counterpart in public art, Eric Jones, and Aaron Ott, the curator of public art. Aaron could not be here today, but he has championed Chloë's Wayfinding as meaningful work for our initiative to bring to the region since she participated in the AK Northland Group Show in these truths. Thank you to the installation team from Dash 7 for their extraordinary efforts. And lastly, thank you to you, Chloë, who worked tirelessly with such grace to bring us this work, for entrusting us to steward these pieces moving forward. Now, please welcome Chloë Batts.
Good morning. I have to say, I am not one of the lucky few people who always knew that I wanted to be an artist. But I think that I am one of the lucky few people who has always been extremely curious about how other people are feeling and where they're feeling those feelings. And Wayfinding is a project that is born out of those interests. It is an absolute dream to have this extremely heavy and complicated multi-part work be acquired in totality by such an incredible institution as the Buffalo AKG. Many artists who are working in large-scale public formats, and this is true for very famous people as well as for people who are just starting out, many artists are faced with the need to destroy their work. And I was worried that that was what was going to happen to me. So standing here on a day where I know that this is not the case, but also in the middle of somebody else's legacy that has been held so carefully by this museum, is, to be honest, a little bit overwhelming and incredibly beautiful. I'm so grateful to the AKG. I'm so grateful to everybody on the public art team who, you heard that perhaps we installed on the hottest days. It was like 96 degrees every day that we were installing this work. So it was quite an experience. I am so grateful also to everybody who has been here throughout the process of lending their feelings to Wayfinding, because this is a project that is completed through you. You walk through, you make your discoveries, you have your feelings, you ask your own questions, you engage with the people around you or you don't, very much as we do in everyday life. But it's my hope that this project gives us a souvenir for some kind of emotional experience, maybe that you've already had, or maybe that you're gonna have in the future and you never know when you're gonna return to it. So I thank you all for being here today too, to complete the process of this work. And I hope you enjoy the project, and I hope you enjoy this beautiful day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chloë, and congratulations. And it bears repeating an additional thank you to our friends at the Olmstead Parks Conservancy for their outstanding partnership in this project. As Zach mentioned, the support of Erie County has been nothing short of essential. Without County Executive Mark Poloncarz, his administration, the Erie County Legislature, the Public Art Initiative would not be possible. And just to take that a step further, the county, its legislature, and its residents have been steadfast champions for the museum on the whole. Tomorrow will mark 1 year and 1 month since we first opened our doors as the new Buffalo AKG Art Museum. Since June 12th of last year, we've seen more than 325,000 visitors, almost twice than what we expected. This is a reflection of something that we've long known and the county has been saying for a very long time, that arts and culture represents the foundation of a vibrant economy and a healthy city. A 2022 study by Preservation Buffalo Niagara and the Lipsey Architecture Center in Buffalo found that visitors to the outstanding arts and cultural sites of our region generated $658 million in economic impact. And we weren't even open yet in 2022. This administration truly believes in the power of art and creativity to transform communities, and it has long invested in it. Please join me in welcoming Deputy County Executive Lisa Chimera to the podium.
Good morning, everyone. I have to tell you, I drive by the AKG every day, and I have goosebumps every time I drive by. And I have those same goosebumps as I entered this exhibit this morning. It really is incredible, and for me to be standing here to celebrate 2 female artists is quite frankly a true honor. I was a teacher for 34 years, and oftentimes brought my students here, brought my students to art that was on exhibit throughout our county. And I wanted them to learn something about art. I wanted to learn about the artist. I wanted them to learn more about themselves. I wanted them to think deeply. I wanted art to be a part of their learning each and every day. And what we have here today is really a great opportunity. With Marisol's exhibit, we learn about a person, we learn about their feelings, we learn about different forms of art that they experienced, and we learn about their struggles and their success. And it's a wonderful opportunity. With Chloë Bass's artwork, I was telling her that oftentimes I love when students can experience art in nature. And this is such a great opportunity for them to visit a beautiful Olmstead Park, to reflect on a piece of artwork, but not just how it looks, but truly how it makes them feel as an individual. So I feel so fortunate to be standing here today as a woman to celebrate 2 amazing artists, and I look forward to every resident in Erie County coming to experience what we're all experiencing today. We're so lucky. We are so lucky in Erie County to have the AKG here, and we're so extremely fortunate to honor our artists of the past and our great artists of the future. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Lisa. This concludes the formal component of the press event. If members of the media have questions, we'll now break for interviews. Kathleen will be available in this gallery, and Zach and Chloe will be available outside in front of the Wilmers building. Thank you very much.